Hey everybody, today I wanted to give a few recommendations for some books on studying church history. And the reason I'm doing this is the Bible from the beginning. In fact, the first words of the Bible is in the beginning, grounds scripture and the history of God's creation of the world and his sovereign reigning over the unfolding of his interactions with man throughout time. So the Bible right away is a book of history of God's sovereign acts in creating, sustaining the world and creation and the fall, and then redeeming a people for himself. So this right away gives us a view of history that is distinct from some other views. History is not just an eternal cyclical cycle of repetition. And it's neither just a straight line of the universe slowly going to cold, scattered darkness, as modern nihilists will say. Instead, history has a beginning, has key inflection points such as Christ on the cross, and there's a goal to history. There's a culmination of the new heavens and the new earth and where we are headed as well. Though there's also some truth that history has cyclical points to it because we have a common God and humanity acts very similarly throughout history, but there's progress and there's a goal to it. We should also see, so Genesis starts us in the beginning. Much of the Old Testament is historical narrative. Matthew starts with the history of the genealogy of Christ. So if you see Matthew there, Luke starts by telling us that he is writing an orderly account to Theophilus to bring Theophilus into the Christian church to understand his identity within the church. So that's the second thing. Christian history, understanding our place in the world, grounds our identity with the Old Testament saints, with the New Testament, and then with the church throughout the ages. So Luke and Acts are books of history. And then Acts 7, Stephen gives a history of the people of Israel as his defense of the gospel. So to be history tellers is to be Christians. To be Christians is also to be people of a book and readers as well. So here's a few recommendations for church history books that will help you understand our place now in this moment by understanding the past, grounding our identity with the wider people of God, and to give us perspective of our own time. So first, most simple one, The Church in History by Kuiper. It's really excellent introduction. It's not too heavy. It's not too dense. You can read the chapters very briefly and get a good overview from a Reformed perspective of the history of the church. So Anna and I read through this in the evenings as part of our family worship for a while, and we got through a good amount of it. A little more thorough is Dowley's Introduction to the History of Christianity. He has really good profiles that do asides of different people and focuses on the life of individuals, and he also captures the big flow of each time period and movements such as monasticism or Christian persecution, but then he'll pop out Irenaeus as his own side panel as well. So it's a very textbook style, but it's really good. Another good way to do history is to look at people and their ideas, to do a historical theology, to look at important people and what their key ideas were. So Garry does an excellent job of this as he looks at Augustine, the Council of Chalcedon, Luther, Tyndale, and several different people. So to learn people and to ground them within their moment can help. So you can start big and zoom in on the person, or you can start with the person and zoom back out. And that can really help you to understand time periods. And really, one of my other favorite things about church history is you're being discipled by people who are dead. So people who are no longer with us, brothers and sisters from different time periods, can disciple us now in the Christian life, which is really amazing. Biographies are an amazing way to learn history. This entire series, Christian Heroes Then and Now, it's a fairly young reading age. It's fairly optimistic of people, so it's not going to paint all the warts, but it will give you just a good introduction to many people's lives. So if you're in high school, you can read through a bunch of these. I know people who are adults who will just pack through a lot of these. There's several really good William Carey biographies, but this entire series, Christian Heroes Then and Now, is really good. And if you go into do P&R books, prpbooks.com, history through fiction, so fictional history, taking true history and putting fictional characters in there, is also a really excellent way to do things. So I like the Duncan War. So learn some of your Scottish history and that way, kind of like a G.A. Henney model. So yeah, I encourage you also use that kind of history through fiction as well. Well, I hope these are good resources to get you started. If you want recommendations on specific biographies or people, or you want a little briefer or a little more, the OPC website, they have somewhere on their website a good American Presbyterian history as well. So hope this is helpful and you're enjoying your summer, and God bless as we seek to learn more about how God has worked in the history of his people from the Old Testament to the New Testament to now.